How has your background, especially over the last 10 years or so in Hollywood, helped you from a storytelling and world-building perspective for this game?
Well, I think the biggest thing, when I went off to make movies, is there's a sort of nuance to filmmaking where you really pay attention to the little details to essentially put you in that environment. So they talk about suspension and disbelief in movies, right? So they go out of the way. Like most movies, even if it's set in contemporary times, you think that, you see this location and you're like, oh, they just shot somewhere. Well, no, that's probably built on a set. But the production designer and the art crew went through and built that set and put every little detail and nick into the wall just to make sure it looked like a real location. And so having that attention to detail sort of grounds your world, and so that's definitely a big thing that I'm trying on Star Citizen, is have that attention to detail on all the places, on the environments, and really sort of attacking it from that to put you in the world so you just get lost in it. And then there's just a nuance with, I think, filmmaking where you learn that the emotional moments are important, and the emotional moments a lot of times aren't like the dialogue scenes or anything. It can be just a look on someone's face. And so there's some stuff that we're going to do in Squadron 42 that I'm really trying to make it more about emotion and your connection to people and less about, I don't know, a big cinematic scene or anything like that. So we'll see what happens, but there's definitely some nuance to sort of character building and telling that you need in film. And I definitely, me spending 10 years working, producing a whole bunch of films and being on the set, pre-production, production, post-production, has helped me do. So I think it's going to make a much better game.
What are your thoughts on Oculus Rift and virtual reality when it comes to this game?
Well, I think it's going to be great for this game. I mean, first of all, you primarily sit in a cockpit, so that's really good for Oculus Rift because if you're sitting in a chair and you're wearing the Oculus Rift, it's very close to the same experience. And then if you put your hands on it, you got a HOTAS set up around a joystick with an Oculus Rift. That's pretty much exactly mimicking your environment that you'd be having in a virtual reality in one of our cockpits. So I think it works really well. I'm really looking forward to the sort of more Crystal Cove level of stuff where you can actually track the head movement properly. And obviously as the resolution gets increased on the displays, because the big holdback right now on VR is the display resolution. I mean, V1 of Oculus Rift is too low resolution. The HD set's better, but it's not quite there yet. But when that's there, it's going to be a great experience. I mean, we have it, we develop it with it, and it's kind of fun to put the goggles on and look around the cockpit and see your hand. And we simulate the whole body motion. So you move your joystick, like I'm moving my joystick. Well, actually, in the virtual reality, you see your hand moving the joystick, and that's pretty powerful.
What are your thoughts of how quickly things seem to be accelerating with virtual reality after so many missteps over the years?
No, it's great. I think the biggest driver has really been the sort of mobile phone business, the smartphone business, because what's happened is these huge, multi-billion-dollar corporations pouring billions of dollars of money, and it's a big tech war, right? So you've got Samsung versus Apple versus name whoever else it is, and they're all trying to have higher resolution displays in these small formats, and they're all trying to drive the prices down to compete at the consumer level of the phones. And so really it's that cheap display tech is what's been helping VR come alive, where before that same stuff would have cost thousands of dollars. Now those panels can cost $50 or $40 or whatever. So it's really helped out, and I don't see that changing in the mobile space. You can see them, they got 2.5K displays now, and I think there's been talk of a 4K display. I mean, crazy stuff, right? So that's all what you need for VR. And then of course the tracking stuff, the accelerometers, again, all in the phone. So that's been a big boon for the VR. And then now, people are sitting and taking notice. So I know there was a lot of people that were like, oh my God, Facebook bought Oculus. But to really make that a mass market item, it's cost hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment to manufacture, get it all out there, and also get it at a price point that people can afford. So would Facebook be my natural guess? No, but they are deep pocketed, and Oculus and VR need that money to really penetrate the mass market. And if they do, it'll be great. So it sort of feels like it's a bit of a tipping point now, where the elements are in place to potentially deliver something to the mass market that a lot of people will use, and then I think then you have VR.